Hi, my name is David Finberg with Royal, and I'm here today to share with you some cybersecurity tips, including how you can create a disaster-proof business, reduce your IT footprint, cut costs, and consolidate your IT infrastructure. Before we begin, here's a very brief background on our company. Born out of a commitment to do things better, Royal has helped hundreds of thousands of people grow their business instead of their technology costs. Our mission is to ensure small businesses and organizations stay ahead of the curve when it comes to their technology solutions. And lastly, our unique offerings remove the need for your business to have on-premise IT equipment and ensures your data is always available, always secure. So let's get started. Safety and security is an afterthought for most businesses, and our goal was to change that. It all starts with mobility. We live in a mobile-first, cloud-first reality. Mobile is now the forefront of business communications and is becoming more and more prevalent as telecommuting increases in popularity. Let's take a quick look at some statistics related to mobile workers. More than 75% of network intrusions exploit weak or stolen credentials. More than 80% of employees admit to using non-approved software as a service applications in their jobs. And by the end of 2016, only 15% of large organizations will have adequate mobile security policies for process and governance. So this brings us to a digital opportunity. Technology is making dramatic changes to the world of work. It's shaping business growth, upending old ways of doing business, and driving the invention of new industries, business models, products, and services. Interestingly enough, 55% of workers in mid-market firms require mobile access to company data. There are currently 14 types of mobile apps in use on average in small and mid-sized businesses, and only 13% of small and mid-sized businesses say that they are fully prepared to handle security challenges, especially related to mobility, so pretty small number. There's been a 23% increase in the average cost of a data breach for mid-market businesses, with an average price tag of nearly $3.8 million per breach. So it's becoming a more widespread issue, and it's definitely a very costly issue in our society today. So let's talk a little bit about creating a disaster-proof business model. We want to empower your employees, engage your customers, optimize your operations, and ultimately transform your products. So you need data for all of your employees all need access to their data, and those individuals need anywhere access so that if there's a problem in the office, people in the field are still able to get their information. We want to work better together, provide that anywhere access, and protect the data, because any business knows that they need to protect their intellectual property wherever the file goes. So this is kind of a new concept. Most businesses protect their data on premise or they encrypt it, but it's actually not secure once it leaves the organization. So we want to protect that data wherever it goes and prevent unauthorized access is really the main point there. At the same time, we also want to work better together. So we want to empower your employees, engage your customers, optimize your operations, and again, transform your products. And this is done through sharing documents and meeting anywhere online with online collaboration tools. This is going to increase team effectiveness and allow you to get more done, while at the same time focus on day-to-day business operations. So anywhere access is a huge selling point for any small or mid-sized business who's looking to have a holistic, simple, easy-to-use platform for their entire IT infrastructure. So security typically hinders access. In this case, we've got both, and this is really really exciting. So we're able to gain real-time customer data. You're going to be able to use your familiar apps and get intuitive experiences with those apps on all of your devices. Ultimately, the end goal is to keep files up to date online and offline and make sure that they're secure. So protecting data wherever it goes. You get protection across all of your devices, whether that be Windows, Android, iOS, tablet, smartphone, you get the idea. We want to safeguard against identity theft, so we want to strengthen identity protection with multi-factor authentication, including things like fingerprint or face recognition on some laptops. And this is going to protect against modern security threats. So we want to ensure that we're more proactive than we have been in the past. And Microsoft has really, dumped millions and millions, if not billions of dollars into ensuring that your data is secure. We want to defend that data, and we want to protect against unauthorized actions and intrusions. So let's talk a little bit about this solution that is technology which promotes security and recovery. So we need everything. We want to work better together. It means we need collaboration. We need that anywhere access. But we also need the best of both worlds. We need to protect that data wherever it goes. So let's talk a little bit about how one would recover in the event of an outage or a data loss. Think about your network right now and how it's set up. And we'll just review a few quick statistics related to small business, mid-sized business network security. So did you know 80% of analyzed breaches had a financial motive? 68% of funds lost as a result of a cyber attack were declared unrecoverable. So just to think about the previous example, 3.8 million on average for a mid-market business per attack or per breach. 68% of those funds would be unrecoverable. So we're talking millions of dollars. This could potentially, wipe out an entire business. And 99% of computer users are vulnerable to these exploit kits, also known as software vulnerabilities. So, more likely than not, you have a device that somewhere down the line is not secure. So what would a network breach entail? Well, traditionally, it's going to entail some downtime. On an on-prem network, so if you have resources at your office or with an IT provider, your backups would need to be employed and network traffic would need to be shut down until the breach was resolved. So this is going to interrupt day-to-day business operations. You would have to tend to the physical resources, again, using either like an IT firm or paying an in-house dedicated security expert. But this isn't the case with Royal, and what we're offering here is called TotalCloud IT. So we'll kind of get into a little bit more of what this is. We're not going to talk too much about TotalCloud IT. It's more about this new, more innovative, more secure way to work and get more done. So if you were to have an outage, TotalCloud has backup stored in multiple data centers across the country, and this is done with Microsoft. So this is all done through the Microsoft Azure cloud. We've all been using the cloud for about 20 years. I don't know if you guys know that. The cloud is another term for the internet. Not to kind of make anyone feel bad about themselves, but that's really what the cloud is, and Microsoft has essentially set up a framework to securely, use, share, and protect documents while they're going over these networks. So with the solution, employees would still have access to their files via their devices. Backups would be installed at the touch of a button. You wouldn't have to mess with any on-prem hardware or services. It's all managed and done with the help of Microsoft, which is really advantageous because you're getting big business tools at a small business price. This is an enterprise solution that historically would have cost millions and millions of dollars to implement for a business, and Microsoft is trying to open up this new market and extend these kinds of products and services to entrepreneurs and to mid-market firms who are looking to grow and may not have that kind of budget. So it's really the best of both worlds. So let's talk about some design considerations for disaster recovery. Did you know the forecast average, so the average monetary loss for a breach of 1,000 records, so that could be 1,000 files on just one computer, is between $52,000 and $87,000. And 63% of businesses admit they don't have a fully mature method to track and control these this kind of sensitive data. So you may be hacked and you might not even be aware of it. I'm not trying to scare anyone here, but 63% of everyone out there, really doesn't have a way to know and to track this, proprietary, your IP or your trade secrets of your business. So a couple questions that I have for you, just to kind of think about internally is, do you have a backup? Do you have data redundancy? Meaning, do you have your data stored in one location, or is it stored in multiple locations across the country in the event of an outage or, God forbid, a hack, are you using a secure platform to begin with? So if you're storing your data on Dropbox, maybe you're storing your business data, files, financial records, whatever, Dropbox, Google Drive, OneDrive, these are great services, but you really need to pair them with a secure platform because you still need to access these apps. And that's kind of where the weak link is that the apps themselves might be secure, but everything else on your computer is not. So our goal is to kind of lock down your infrastructure, lock down your computer, and make sure that there aren't any loopholes for hackers to get in between you accessing your data. So is it possible to keep up? Is it possible to stay secure? I know I kind of painted a little bit of a bleak and scary future here, but the answer is actually yes. We are managing a lot of things here: users, apps, data, devices, credentials. So as you can see, it's very easy to lose track or to not have some kind of monitoring in place for all these different variables. But Microsoft has developed a solution. So this is kind of the vision. We're going to secure the users, the devices, the apps, and the data itself. And this is really going to help promote the information availability and that anywhere access that we need to be more productive. So it's time for a comprehensive solution. We're going to talk a little bit about how you can reduce your IT footprint and cut costs with these types of solutions, and why you need to choose an infrastructure that grows with you, an infrastructure that reduces your on-premise equipment, and an infrastructure that consolidates all of your devices and all of your apps and everything onto one redundant platform. This is going to involve integrated secure identity, and it's able to, again, promote that anywhere access, and it's also going to preserve your investment. So not only are you protecting against things like hacks and security breaches, you're no longer dumping money into on-premise equipment that's expensive to maintain. You don't have to have any server closet or square footage dedicated to this on-premise equipment, and you'll never have to really upgrade again is kind of the idea here. So it's a preservation of your investment and it's protection of your intellectual property. So in order to empower business mobility, we need identity-driven security. Did you know 75% of hacks use exploited credentials? So this is so critical to highlight on. This is kind of how this thing works, is identity-driven security. Let's secure the user themselves. So you have one common identity. It simplifies the management of your credentials and it improves the security. So you're actually going to use a single sign-on solution. And what that means is you won't have to manage a plethora of passwords. You basically have one password. It's multi-factor. So maybe it's a password and you get a text message on your phone with a PIN. And from there, you'll be able to access all of your apps, files, and devices with that single sign-on. So it makes it really seamless, really easy, very quick. And you don't have to remember a dozen or so passwords. I know I at least have 20 or 30 different passwords depending on what I'm using. So it's nice to be able to use that single sign-on and not worry about that. So it's one common identity. Again, single sign-on. It's an easy connection to existing assets. This works with all the apps that you already use, and it creates a unified experience across your devices. It also allows you to manage, pretty much everything. You have your dynamic groups, provisioning, B2B collaboration, online meetings, things like that. It's all integrated. And it also gives you a certain level of self-service for those that are looking for it. So you've got your password resets, you can change your group membership, you can even change the apps and services that you use without needing to get the IT guy involved, which is pretty cool. The end goal is to improve security. So this is going to protect users with the multi-factor authentication and leaked credential reporting. So it's actually going to scan the web. Microsoft is scanning the web to ensure that your credentials are not out there in the hands of a malicious hacker. And this is done through intelligent analysis. So you've got machine learning, security reports, user behavior analysis. And we'll dive into this a little bit later in the presentation here on the next couple slides. This is also going to, this is huge. It's going to guard your app. So it's conditional access, secure remote access to those apps. So again, we talked about maybe the files or the data being secure, but if the application is not secure, that's a pretty big weak link. And this is something that Microsoft has worked for years to get right. So it's all about enterprise mobility and security, and this is kind of a more in-depth slide that kind of shows you how the Azure Rights Management works and how Active Directory works to give you access to your files and apps in a secure manner. So just to touch a little bit more on the kind of nerdy features of the Microsoft Advanced Threat Analytics, this is what's going to proactively protect your account, and this is done through behavioral analytics. So they're going to see, okay, maybe so-and-so only logs in, from 9 to 5. Why is someone trying to log in at 3 a.m. from China? And it's automatically going to eliminate that session or kill the session. It's going to use forensics and compare these forensics against known attacks and issues. And the end goal is basically to detect that suspicious user behavior and really prevent an attack before it happens. So the last thing that we want to kind of revert back to is the app security. It's the enterprise-grade security to your cloud apps. This is something that's brand new. Not too many people have even heard of this, but basically what it is it's security for your applications so that your apps are secure while you're accessing your data. So it's security as a service, extending visibility and control to cloud apps. It's comprehensive proven protection. You're basically getting the security, enterprise level of security that you would get at a huge firm like Microsoft, but for your small business or mid-sized business. And they're committed to support the third-party apps that you know and love. So it's going to be a seamless, familiar experience. You're not going to have to learn a brand new complicated system. It's as simple as clicking the mouse a couple of times and you have access to your virtual desktop. So just to kind of wrap up the identity-driven security module, it's conditional access to all your apps, resources, and self-service tools. The second way we empower business mobility is through managed mobile productivity. And this dives a little bit more into the applications that we use. Over 80% of the applications that we use are unsecured. So again, a huge loophole for hackers. They don't need to have the access to the file, they just need the access to the app, which is granted access to the file. So Microsoft's goal was to kind of shut this route off for these people. Let's eliminate an easy hack and let's secure these apps. So it's mobile device application and information protection. So not only are we securing the app, we're securing the information in motion as well. We're able to manage and secure devices, and we're able to have data level protection for that information. So your files are going to be secure in motion, whether you send it to that temporary contractor or you send it to Bob in accounting. You can rest assured that those people will only have access granted to them. And this is done through access management. So it's conditional access, compliance enforcement, and multi-identity support. So what that means is basically you'll be provided a role. You could even bring your own device, have your personal and work documents on that same device, and your work documents would be secured in a separate manner. So in other words, if you needed to, God forbid, let's say you had to terminate an employee, or someone left and they had a bunch of files on their laptop or on their mobile device, you would be able to enforce that access and be able to essentially kill the document, cut them off, or essentially prevent them from seeing that document anymore. It's got built-in security, so it's mobile app management with file and data encryption. And we consider this to be the gold standard. So it's familiar, it's trusted, it's the apps that you know how to use. you're familiar with. It's that simple. It's a new way to work. Here's a little bit more about how the conditional access works. You'll have user attributes, devices, applications, and other. So essentially you're authenticating through your user attributes. You've got recognized devices and applications and credentials to go along with that. And then you've got another section which includes things like location and risk profile. So you could actually grant access to people only within your town or your state, or if you're sending a proposal to a client, whatever town or state they're in. And this is going to really limit what they can do in terms of editing, saving, even opening certain files or applications. So it's a complete control for your business. This is kind of how the mobile app management works. You can see this individual has corporate data and personal data on their device. It's separated using the multi-identity policy, and you're able to control that data in motion. So if this person ends up leaving or quits, or they're a contractor and their contract is up, you're able to eliminate access to the sensitive information that they no longer need. The end goal is to collaborate securely. So in order to do this, we need to have persistent protection, and this is storage dependent. It permits all companies to authenticate, and it enforces authorization policy. So it's kind of the judge in the equation, and is looking to see if you actually need access or have access to your files. It's got a whole back end where you can do things like tracking compliance. It's powerful logging and reporting, use abuse tracking, and you can kill documents remotely. And it's completely integrated. That's the cool thing about this. It integrates with all your apps, all your devices, really seamless, really easy to use. So it works across all platforms. You get a consistent user experience. You're not going to have to train people on a rigorous new platform. And again, integrates into the common apps and services that you already love. This comprehensive solution provides data level protection for secure sharing. So this is more of a technical slide where it just shows you, okay, you're protecting, you're sharing, and then you're tracking and revoking this file, and how that works using data level encryption, devices, and policies. Essentially, you can run your Windows apps anywhere. So it's centralized, secure. You can scale it to your business needs, get exactly what you need. If you end up having to increase your resources because you hire someone or you need a new service, you're not going to have to upgrade that on-prem server or on-premise equipment. You really don't need much processing power because it's all done on Microsoft's in their data centers, which, as you may know, have like supercomputer level processing. So you can scale to seasonal need, you get the flexibility, and you get the data and file encryption. So the last kind of thing to touch on, there's no app rewriting. You get simplified updates. You're able to use all those existing apps. It's not proprietary custom integration. It's all fully supported by Microsoft. So managed mobile productivity in a nutshell is protected mobile users, devices, apps, and your data everywhere. A single platform is advantageous because it's flexible. It grows with you. It doesn't require the upgrades or maintenance. And while recurring solutions are not sexy, in the long run, it's going to save you money because you're not going to be putting money into this on-premise legacy equipment. It's estimated that the minimum dedicated budget for larger and mid-sized businesses will be 25% by the end of 2017. So this kind of goes to show you how important this is. I mean, as we know, a $3.8 million breach could take down your business. Our solutions are actually oftentimes less than 25%, but I think this is a conservative estimate, and just kind of putting the emphasis on this platform is really the future of how businesses are going to work, and more businesses are taking this seriously and really adopting this new technology. So it's a cross-platform, flexible architecture. It's easy to maintain, it integrates with what you already have, and it saves you money, up to 50% in some cases. It's always up to date, so you have your real-time updates, keep up with new apps and devices. It works with what you already have, so it supports your multiple platforms and you can leverage your existing investments. And by the way, you don't have to fully dedicate to the cloud. You could even try, a hybrid solution where you're just moving one piece of your business to the cloud, seeing how much you like it, and then, if everything's exceeding your expectations, then you move the rest of it. It's really simple to set up and connect. It's easy, it's a secure connection, and it really simplifies the management of your IT. So stay secure and cut your budget in half. Spend up to 50% less than buying standalone solutions from other vendors. So this is kind of what we're talking about. You're not going to have to pay for a storage closet, for an employee to manage this, or an outside IT firm to manage this. You're not going to have to pay for things like electricity for your servers and computers, upgrades, you name it. It's really, really flexible, and it's all able to be done in the cloud. So the end goal is to empower your business mobility, and we're going to do this by consolidating your IT infrastructure. So it's all about identifying your needs and choosing the right solution, and that's kind of what I'm going to help you out with here right now. So just to think about your internal network right now, how many computers do you have? Do you have any servers? If so, how many? What kinds of apps and services do you use on a daily basis? These are just a few of the questions that we ask businesses when we give a free consultation. So we want you to really think about, what is most valuable to you from an IT perspective, and then how can we get you to the right solution that's going to meet your needs but not exceed them, and also cut your costs. So our goal is to save you time, to save you money. The service that we offer is called TotalCloud IT. It's available now. You can get started for as little as $500 a month. Every engagement that we do quote is tailored to the business. So the end goal is to, again, get you exactly what you need, get you on this new modern, innovative platform that's easy to use, it's secure, it's going to really change the way you work, and it's also going to cut down on your internal costs. So you really don't have to necessarily buy your specific work devices for your employees. They can bring their own device, things like that. So here are some of our mobility solutions, and just to kind of sum everything up, it's identity and access management, user and entity behavioral analytics, mobile device and app management, information protection, and cloud and software as a service app security. Get your office tools, your remote apps, your Windows applications on all your devices, whether it be Android, iOS, desktop, you name it. I want you to ignore the boundaries and want to transform your business with the flexibility to bridge cloud, on-prem, and hybrid solutions together. The end goal is to save you time, save you money, make you more productive, allow you to focus on growing your business, and we want to help. If you have any questions, I'll put my contact information up here. You can give us a call, 1-877-292-7712. We're giving out free security consultations. If you have questions outside of the scope of this particular service, we'd be happy to help. We offer licensing support for Microsoft, Symantec, and Adobe products as well. Our goal is to be your one-stop shop for all things IT, and we'd love to save you some time, save you some money, even help you consult on what path does my business want to take in the next 5 years, and how can I affordably and easily scale to the cloud and ultimately reduce my footprint. Thanks so much for joining. Again, my name is David. I just showed you how to simplify your life with Microsoft Azure Desktop Services and TotalCloud IT. If you have any questions, feel free to email me, david@royaldiscount.com or info@totalcloudit.com. I've also got my counterpart Joel's email on here, joel@royaldiscount.com. Feel free to give him a shout with any IT related questions. We'd love to help, and thanks so much for joining. Have a great day.